Welcome back, everybody. This is part 2 of the revival on the 1991 Suzuki Quadrunner. I've just pulled it back in the shop after sitting for 3 weeks. I think 2 weeks ago I published the first video on this. So, yeah, all we got to do this thing now is, well, I got a carburetor rebuild kit, so I just took the carb off and got it ready and put it on the bench. She's officially mine. Plate came in the mail this week along with the new registration, so this thing is officially mine and registered. Done. Look at that. Isn't that a beautiful thing? But anyway, this is our latest project. Is the original Mikuni Carburetor, which I've heard is rare because the Chinese ones suck. I've heard it on the Hondas and I've heard about these. I remember the boot. The reason this thing got laid up again. This Chinese boot, which is garbage. Yeah, see that? Yeah. It tore again. So this is the second boot this quad's had from the original one. This is garbage. Don't buy this product. I went with Kimpex. It's on the bike right now. There's a rag over it covering it. And it is super hard, super nice. I made a gasket for it and put an O-ring in the in this little cutout. Yeah, I just made my own gasket of gasket paper, nothing special. But this Moto, I think it was in the last video, Moto 49 or whatever it was. This is garbage. Don't buy this. This is fucking garbage. All right, so what we got left to do with this? This is the kit I used, the rebuild kit. Oh yeah. Well, that's the adapter flange. So here's the part number, and here's the one for the rebuild kit, right here. Came with pretty much new everything. New main jet needles. That big O-ring, I'm not sure where that goes yet. I'll figure it out. New screws for the top cover. That show me there. New everything, really. New float bowl gasket, which mine was leaking, although I don't really know why. Because he's still like pretty soft and stretchy, like he's been replaced. So anyway, I'm going to hang on to it. The main issue with my carburetor, I was having an issue of it running lean between, say, starting off in 25% throttle. After that was fine. I'd come to find out the O-ring, there's supposed to be an O-ring on the mixture screw, the low speed mixture screw, which is right in this hole. But it's very common for it to go missing during a rebuild. Overlooked. There was kits that didn't come with that O-ring. This one came with everything. Or you just put it on backwards. There's a little washer and an O-ring and you can swap the two around by mistake. I should have them on correctly because I looked at a diagram. I'll put the diagram I looked at on the screen somewhere here. So you guys, if you're doing this at home, you knows exactly how to fix your issue. We're gonna take our little E-clip here. It's very tricky, but I'm going from the top. If it's not right, you can always just pop the top of the cover off and get this piece out. Here he is. He's clipped on to the 4th rung down. So there's one more below it. But this is the 4th one down from the top. So I'm assuming that's what that means. That's factory specs, according to that. So that's exactly how it would have come from the factory, supposedly. Now there's this little piece here too. To my knowledge, this little piece just sits right here. Yeah. Sorry. He sits right here. And the spring that goes up on top of the case, that's what the spring, that's basically the spring perch, so when he's going up and down it doesn't just slide down over the needle. So anyway, that should be plenty there. Our diaphragm here on our vacuum slide is nice and soft and supple. Nothing wrong with that. It might have even been replaced at some point, but either way it's very pliable, very nice. So I'm reusing it. If I have problems, again, you can take this out without taking the carburetor off the machine because you can just take this cover off. So I'm going to stick this needle in. Ooh, oh my god, let me throw it down first. First day with new hands. You want to just take it and just like that. It's basically that's how he sits in this slide. Because while this is working, this is your carburetor, this slides up and down. So this, when you hit your accelerator, so say you full throttle, vacuum picks this up, raises your main jet needle. It basically keeps you from having a lean condition too, so you don't have bog when you hit the throttle. It's because you're going from 0 to 100 so quick kind of thing. Okay, so that little plastic piece is down inside this hole to keep our spring, because our spring sits in here like this, and then the cover has a little tit on it, and it keeps it so like this basically. So vacuum goes up, pulls the needle up. Basically, that's how it operates. It's just like this. So that little plastic piece is down there. And yeah, that's how that goes. So we're going to put this back in the carburetor now. I have the new jet in here. There's a new jet in here. The bottom end is done. The float height is set. I believe it's between 13.5 millimeters to 14.5 millimeters. I set that with some digital caliber, so it should be correct. And we're going to pop this guy back in here. There's only one way this can go. Hang on. Oh, I had it 180 out. There's a little flap on that too. See the little half circle there? You gotta go. There's a on the carburetor here. There's a little spot. You can only go one way. So we're gonna drop this guy down in here. And it helps if you can watch that needle. Make sure he goes down the hole. There we go. Boom. There you go. That's it. You can kind of see that slide in there. So when you hit the throttle, whoop, it's vacuum. So that is it for that part. Now we just gotta put the cover back on. This cover lines up also. There's a little, where's it to? Right here. There's a little kind of like a half moon sticking out. It looks different than the other side. He also goes over and helps cover the diaphragm. Just make sure your diaphragm is, hang on, just make sure your diaphragm is seated all the way down. Now, oh, wait now. Forgetting a critical piece won't work very well with the spring. There we go. That is one rebuilt carburetor. And I would have shown you the setting the float height and everything, but well, if you don't know how to set float height, there's a lot of better videos that can explain it other than me. This is the first time I've done it, so I don't want to lead any of you in the wrong direction here. But anyway, I will show you how to put the carburetor back on. It's pretty simple, for being honest here. But that's it. This thing is ready to rock and roll, and I hope, cross your fingers, that this thing runs better than it ever has, because it should. It's set the factory settings. It's brand new. Everything's brand new on the inside. It shouldn't leak. Well, there's only one way to know, unfortunately, and that's stick it on the quad. Let's stick it on the quad and start her up. Take my hat off. All right. I was just about ready to put this carburetor back on. Just laid it here. I guess the wheel cylinder, the seal in it, decided to let go, and it puked all over the floor. I don't even think there's anything left in it. Oh, there's a little bit halfway now. But anyway, it's leaking pretty good. I mean, that's a big spot on the floor, so. Another problem we'll have to fix. Although I think the shoes are missing on one of them anyway, so the rear brake is the only one that works right now, so not a big deal. You don't use brakes on quads very much anyway. But well, we will fix it in a future episode when I get parts. But I just put the choke in. Just put the choke in. The throttle's hooked up, so when you come up here, hit the throttle. Rum. Anyway, I put this boot. I read on the internet, apparently if you soak rubber in brake fluid, it'll soften it. So I put this boot in a little bit of brake fluid. See what happens, just as an experiment. It won't hurt anything. I gotta get a new one anyway, I think. It's the one that goes between here and the carb, the air filter and the carb. I've taken the screw out of the air box, because I'm just going to start the thing with no air filter and just make sure it runs okay. This is a much different carburetor style. This is hopefully the day we get to go for a ride together. That'd be fantastic. We're going for a ride in this video for sure. At least one. We haven't even been on a ride for this machine yet. Carburetor's on, guys. This is exciting. Ooh. The vacuum line fell down a tray here. I checked for cracks in this line too. If you're having trouble, I suggest you do the same. There was a big crack in mine. He goes down here on this little nipple, just like so. Let's turn the gas on, see what happens. Gas is down here. On is that way. Okay, gas is on. Let's fire this thing up. I'm excited. I hope this thing works. There we go. Hang on. It's gonna take a second for the fuel pump to pick up fuel, so I got some quick start. this thing is, it's actually impressive. Now it's probably gonna need some fine tuning, I have no doubt, but let her warm up here a bit. Let's go for a ride. Thing revs out good now. No backfiring now either. But you see how she hangs? She's a little bit rich. The tuning is done. This thing runs perfect. Oh, I don't know if the choke works. I haven't checked it. The chokes on these things are goofy because they're not traditional chokes. It's called an enrichment circuit. So it's kind of hard to explain, but basically it's just like it's a plunger that goes in and opens another passage and allows excess fuel to enter the combustion chamber on a cold start. Wherefore, it doesn't have a butterfly like a normal carburetor like I'll put on the screen here. So it's not what you think when you think choke. It's different. Anyway, now that we've test run it, we've done some stuff. I want to look into these brakes here. Nothing. I think the master cylinder works because I can hear it pumping fluid. It probably needs to be bench bled now, to be honest with you. Take this off and push on it and bleed it, but probably could do this actually like that, actually. But I think one of the wheel cylinders is leaking based on the puddle back there, so we're probably gonna need some rebuild kits and front brake shoes because this thing has drums on all four, or on all three. There's only one brake back there. That one works perfect. These two don't work at all. And it'd be nice, you know, you kind of need brakes. So I think we're gonna order brakes for this thing, get those to come, and then, well, that's all it needs. We've done the oil change in the last video. I've put a new spark plug into it. I'm gonna change the front diff fluid here now. I actually had to top it off with the wrong stuff, but it was a little bit low. I had the, what is it? That stuff right there in that bottle, 75-140. And anyway, I just topped it off, but it needs to be drained. It was pretty bad. So I'm gonna put a jack, this floor jack up underneath her and jack her up a bit, because this thing weighs like nothing. And pop the plug out in the bottom, drain it out, and yeah, go from there. Ready to go. Other than the battery cover, we'll fix that too, I guess. Okay, so here's what I've come up with. I'm gonna take a washer, and where this hole is gone, I'm gonna hot glue it onto this panel like that. So that way I can take either a bolt, a zip tie, anything like that, and just put it through. So that way you got something to grab a hold of, because this cover is actually split here though. So that's no good. Here in the front, I don't really know what I'm gonna do. But I'm gonna come up with that here in a minute, because there's actually a whole piece missing here. You can see where the hole is for the original circlip or whatever held it in. It was right here, and I guess same right here somewhere. But maybe two will be enough. I don't know. It's only a battery cover, but it just keeps water from getting in too. Because I mean, being down there, if you're going down the railway bed or a trail or whatever, and by railway bed I mean discontinued railway bed. It's not a railway bed anymore. It's just an old ATV trail here in Newfoundland. Goes right across the island. Well, if you're going down that, there's a lot of yes ma'ams, basically like this, and well, a lot of water gets up on this thing, so you kind of want to avoid having water in your electronics as much as possible. Anyway, so I'm gonna hot glue that washer on there. I think that'll work dandy. All right, I'm just tying things up here. I noticed this vacuum line slipped off, so instead of having it being pulled on constantly, like really hard, I've rigged up a zip tie right here with a piece of tubing I found. I cut it so the vacuum line doesn't chafe on the frame, so it should be like an anti-chafe. But anyway, if he slips off now, well then it'd be a lot more difficult now for it to slip off. It's not going to want to now, so, or it shouldn't anyway. But other than that, this thing's running pretty good, so I mean, just watch. Here's what I come up with for the cover, the battery cover here. I just hot glued a washer to it, and also the cracks here, I just filled them with hot glue so this cover doesn't continue to split. I mean, hey, it's better than nothing, so, you know, try it. If it doesn't work, oh well. But anyway, this one here seems like it's a good idea though. I like this. I think glue's still not 100%. Anyway, you can see now when you look down through the cover, well, now you got a hole. So you can work with that now. So I'm going to, I think I'm either going to run a bolt or a zip tie or something. I'd like to be able to still take this off if you needed to, because the only way it can come off is through here, sliding out. But there. So that's how he's going to sit. It's just like this. That looks better, don't it? It's alright though for a 34-year-old machine. I think this is really going to conclude it. Until we go somewhere else. You'll see this in future videos. But I think that's it. I think we're gonna call this one here. I mean, I've been at this now, well, most of the day, most afternoon, so I'm pretty happy. We got our first ride out. The thing runs perfect now with that new O-ring. Like I said, I'll put in the description, I'll see if I can put the link for those parts down there, or at least the part numbers. So if anybody's in the same boat for me, they're fantastic parts. Like I said, they're light years ahead of that Chinese one, that Moto one, so do not buy that for your Quadrunner, unless you like getting stuck in the woods in places. Hope to see you guys on the next video, and until then, we'll catch you then. Thanks for watching, appreciate it, and well, keep an eye out for some future videos.